Hey everyone, this is Kieran. Today's exercise is looking at how to straighten your knee. And it's a lot of time after surgeries or certain injuries, people will lose the ability to straighten their knee. And this is an exercise which can be quite useful to regain that ability. So hopefully you find this helpful. And if you do, please subscribe below. After hurting any joint, you can get something called arthrogenic muscle inhibition. And all that means is that you're getting inhibition of the muscles, so the muscles are finding it hard to activate fully or produce force to their usual amount because of the joint. And that could be sometimes pain, it could be swelling. We're just saying that the inhibitory source is coming from the joint. Now, it's an interesting one because once pain settles or once swelling settles, it's not always a given that you relearn how to, use your muscles again. If you have a lifestyle, so for example, let's say certain extreme sports, or you have a job, and those things require those skills of you, you're more inclined maybe to relearn those things if you get back to those tasks quickly or promptly within healing timeframes. If you don't get back to those and you have a bit of a lifestyle change, it's not always guaranteed, particularly if the level is above what we call active daily living tasks. So walking around, taking care of yourself, those kinds of things. Those are things we all tend to try and get back to after an injury. And some people will choose not to get back to, say, the sport they play. You have to relearn the skills. So this is the same idea, just on a different spectrum of difficulty. Rehab 101, we want to restore joint range of motion and normal to what it was prior to the injury. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't restore normal joint range of motion. In the knee in particular, we really want to try and get that terminal knee extension, so the ability to straighten it fully back. And this is a nice exercise to do this. Now, there's lots of options to do this. I've got some other ones on the channel, so I'll link a few. I've got the short arc quadriceps exercise up here. We've got a straight leg exercise up here. This one is a standing version, so there's a little more coordination involved. What you do is you get one of these big power bands, and this tends to be on the less intense end of the scale. It's about the width, slightly smaller than the width of my thumb, and it's the width of the band, which is the difficulty. You could do this with a cable machine as well by hooking the cable up to behind your knee. Just find that this one's enough, because it's not something you have to get crazy heavy on. So how you set up is you hook the bands up to something sturdy. So I'm just going to do a bit of a loop like this and bring it down to about roughly knee level for you. So if I pop it behind my knee, and then the legs behind me, now it could be in front. And as I start straightening, what I'm trying to do is really get as straight as I can. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but for someone who can't straighten their knee fully, the intention of trying to straighten your knee is really important. So how I'd encourage you to cue yourself is try and stretch the band as much as you can. You might find that that wakes things up a little bit faster and gets you to where you want to be, which is a straight knee, sooner. It's a bit different to me saying, okay, try and activate my quads. What does that mean? Or try to straighten my knee. That's not a bad one, but try and stretch the band as much as I can. All those things now come into that because I have to do those things to execute the stretching of the band. So it's where you put your attention. Alternatively, I could go behind and straighten like this. Where would you tend to straighten your knee mostly in real life, this situation? Do you need to restore this one in particular to get your knee straight? Not necessarily. Like I said, lots of options. I just find that this is a particularly useful one for people. Again, coming back to the front and straightening and straightening. So go to a progressively harder band. If you can do more than 30 reps without these muscles getting tired, then I would go to a harder band to try and get what you want out of the exercise. So hopefully you guys found that useful. kind of a 101 rehab exercise after, like I said, a knee joint injury. It's not a bad exercise for muscle related injuries as well, but I find it just particularly useful for joint injuries. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.